Hi there. Hi, boys and girls. I want you to know how much I miss you. This will all be over with soon and we'll be back to class hopefully, right? I want to say hi to my sweet little Ashby. How are you doing, Ashby? And my sweet little Rain. I know you're doing great. I heard your Bible verse and I heard Ashby's little craft time and her cooking time. It was cute. And Bella, I know you're doing great and your brother Bo is helping you to learn some things at home. And Ezra, you're learning with your brothers, I'm sure. Hi, Ezra. And hi to Levi and Aaron. I know you guys are doing great. Aaron, I know your big sister is helping you out at home, right? To learn some of your sight words, maybe? And hello to Riker. Hi, Riker. And I know you're working hard and you had your little veterinarian thing set up at your home. That was really cute. And Cameron and Kinsley, I heard you're working good with Daddy, building a fort with Daddy and playing veterinarian with Daddy. I know you got a really awesome daddy. And Emily and Landon, I know you're working really hard at home and doing great. I miss you, Emily and Landon, so much. And my little Decker. Oh, my little Decker. I love you, Decker. Miss you too. I miss all you guys so much. I'm going to read you a story because if you remember right before we ended school, before we went on spring break, when we got back, we were going to have the teeny tiny week. Do you remember that? We were going to have, everybody was going to bring a teeny tiny snack, enough for everybody in the class. We were going to have a teeny tiny treats in class, a teeny tiny lunch. Everybody's going to bring a teeny tiny lunch. And show and tell. Everybody was supposed to bring a teeny tiny show and tell. And I know you are all looking so forward to it. So I'm going to read you a teeny tiny story in my teeny tiny house. So here we go. You all listen really carefully to Miss Debbie and don't interrupt. Here we go. The teeny tiny teacher. Of course, I'm not teeny tiny, but this is everybody's favorite book. Every year when I read this to the class, it's everybody's favorite book. So I hope you guys like it. Here we go, The Teeny Tiny Teacher. This is really an awesome book, and this is the title page that we always talk about. The Teeny Tiny Ghost Story, adapted a teeny tiny bit. By Stephanie Clemenson and illustrated by Dennis Roach. Right? So here we go. Once upon a time, there was a teeny tiny teacher who taught a teeny tiny school. And in a teeny tiny town. Look at that town. Look at that teeny tiny town. Do you see this little teeny tiny schoolhouse? One morning, the teeny tiny teacher took the teeny tiny attendance. And all the kids were singing their teeny tiny songs. The teeny tiny teacher said, would anybody like to take a teeny tiny walk to the teeny tiny park? Me, cried the teeny tiny students in their teeny tiny voices. Me. Look at, do you notice what they're sitting at? Do you? They're sitting on little dice. And look at the little piano that they have in the classroom. Isn't that cute? Aww. The teeny tiny students put their teeny tiny coats and their teeny tiny hats on and made two teeny tiny lines. Holding each other's teeny tiny hands, they walked to the teeny tiny park. Look at that teeny tiny park. Can you see how big those flowers are? Look at that bird. That bird is really big, much bigger than the students. At the teeny tiny park, they found many teeny tiny things. Teeny tiny leaves, teeny tiny sticks, and teeny tiny feathers. And the teeny tiny teacher found a teeny tiny bone. I will save this teeny tiny bone for my teeny tiny science lesson, she said, in her teeny tiny voice to her teeny tiny self. She put the teeny tiny bone in her teeny tiny pocket. When the teeny tiny class got back to their teeny tiny room, they hung their teeny tiny coats and their teeny tiny hats in the teeny tiny closet. The teeny tiny teacher forgot all about the teeny tiny bone in her teeny tiny pocket. Who is ready for a teeny tiny snack? The teeny tiny teacher asked in her teeny tiny voice. We are, yelled the teeny tiny kids in their teeny tiny voices. While the teeny tiny teacher was filling up the teeny tiny cups of juice, a teeny tiny voice whispered, Give me my bone. Give me my bone. Where is that coming from? They all said. Look at the teeny tiny teacher was filling up their teeny tiny cups with their teeny tiny juice. The teeny tiny teacher smiled, thinking a teeny tiny student was playing a teeny tiny joke on her. Someone is being a teeny bit silly, said the teeny tiny teacher. Then she handed out the teeny tiny cups of juice and passed around the teeny tiny cookies. The teeny tiny students were enjoying their teeny tiny snack when the teeny tiny boys said a teeny bit louder. What is that they said? Give me my bone. A teeny bit louder. Where's that coming from? Look at them. Do they look a little bit frightened? Do you notice what kind of desk they have? If you guessed dominoes, you were right. Isn't that cute? The teeny tiny students were a teeny bit more frightened. They spilled their teeny tiny cups of juice and their teeny tiny cookies all over the teeny tiny floor. Someone is being a teeny bit silly, said the teeny tiny teacher in a teeny tiny voice with her teeny tiny hands on her teeny tiny hips. The teeny tiny students who have something to say should raise their teeny tiny hands, she said. Whoa, do you notice? Look at the cups of juice splattered everywhere. I'd be scared too. They're like, the teeny tiny student raised her teeny tiny hand and said in her teeny tiny voice, said the teeny tiny voice from the teeny tiny closet, it's coming from the teeny tiny closet. Teeny tiny closets do not talk, said the teeny tiny teacher in her teeny tiny voice. Then she helped her teeny tiny students clean up their teeny tiny mess. Boy, they made a mess, didn't they? Yeah. Whoa, look at them looking like, ah. One of them even hid underneath their desk. I think I'd be afraid too if there was a voice coming from somewhere in my classroom saying, give me my bone. When the teeny tiny room was a teeny bit tidier, the teeny tiny teacher said, who would like to help me write a teeny tiny story about our teeny tiny walk today? Me, cried the teeny tiny students of the teeny tiny voices. They were all taking turns telling the teacher a teeny tiny story about their teeny tiny walk. The teeny tiny teacher wrote on the teeny tiny closet. All of a sudden, guess what happened? The closet started to shake and rattle and roll, and the teeny tiny voice called out a teeny bit louder from the closet. Give me my bone. Whoa, I'd be afraid to look at them. Where's it coming from? Can you see where the voice is coming from? I won't tell you. I think you know. Now the teeny tiny students and the teeny tiny teacher were a teeny bit more frightened. They hid under their teeny tiny desk. They had been hiding just a teeny tiny time when the teeny tiny voice called a teeny bit louder than before. Give me my bone. Oh, I would be afraid. Look at, oh my gosh, they were really afraid hiding underneath their little desk. You see? This made the teeny tiny teacher and her teeny tiny students a teeny bit more frightened, so they hid a little bit further under their teeny tiny desk. They were shivering and they were shaking in a teeny tiny bit when the teeny tiny voice called again. A teeny bit louder. Say it with me. Give me my bone, they said. Oh, look at what happened. The whole roof blew right off the school. Would you be afraid? Look at this, what happened. The teeny tiny teacher was not about to take let that teeny tiny voice frighten her or her teeny tiny students another teeny tiny minute. So she popped up from her teeny tiny desk and shouted in her loudest teeny tiny voice, take it! Take it! Oh, she said take it. And look at, what do you see? What's coming out from that closet? Can you see that? I think you guessed it. You know what it is, don't you? Can you see what it is, Ashby? Can you see? Bella, can you see what it is? Decker? Oh, look. Aaron, you can see, huh? What is it? Tell Miss Debbie what it is. Oh, let's see. After that, the teeny tiny teacher and her teeny tiny students never heard that teeny tiny voice again. Because look what it was. Look what happened. Look what happened. See? It was a ghost. The ghost wanted his bone back that the teeny tiny teacher found on the teeny tiny playground, right? And the ghost went up there to the board and wrote a teeny tiny ghost story. That was a ghost story. Was that a good story? Did you like that, Emily and Landon? Did you like that story? Oh, I know you did. How about you, Rain? Did you like that story, Rain? Riker? That was a good story. Okay, Cameron and Kinsley, let's see what the very last page is, okay? The very last page says, and that is the end of the teeny tiny story. Okay, what does Miss Debbie do after the end of the story? We say it all together. The end. That's right. Did you like that teeny tiny story? I love this book, and I knew it would be your favorite, so I wanted to read it to you because we didn't get to do our teeny tiny story. But maybe at home, now that you're at home, you could do have a teeny tiny snack with mommy and daddy or brother and sister, and maybe write a little paper on a teeny tiny story, and you could write a teeny tiny story, or you could write, what would you be if you were teeny tiny? What do you think you'd want to be if you were teeny tiny? Let me see, I'm going to read you a few things of some past things some kids wrote in my class about what they would like to be and why if they were teeny tiny. So let me see. Can I read you a few of these? Okay, they were from Miss Debbie's previous class, so I'm going to read you a few of them. They were a few years ago. There was this one little girl, she said, if I were teeny tiny, I'd want to be a mouse. And I said, why would you want to be a mouse? And she said, because if I was a mouse, I could go sneak into a toy store, and I could play with all the toys at night while everybody was gone. Isn't that cute? And one of them, this little boy said, I'd like to be a ladybug. And I said, why would you like to be a ladybug? And he said, because I can fly around all day and just eat off of leaves. I think ladybugs are pretty small already, but that was cute. This one little boy said he'd like to be a lizard so he can slide into purses and see what's in ladies' purses. That's kind of a silly thing. This little boy said, I wish I was a mouse so I could live in a library and I could read all the books all night. Well, that is cute. Oh, this little boy said, I'd like to be a hamster so my sister would spend more time with me because she loves her hamster. Oh, does that make you want to cry? That is just so sweet. How about this one? This little boy named Grant, he used to be in my class, and he wrote, I wish I was a roly-poly bug so I can curl up into a ball and roll around. I think you can do that anyways, but that was kind of a cute answer. This one, oh, and I don't like snakes, but this little boy said, I wish I was a tiny snake so I can play with other little tiny snakes. I guess so they can kind of slither in and out of anywhere. And then this little boy, Colton, said, I wish I could be a mouse so I could get in and out of everybody's house and do what I want. That's kind of funny. You could just slide in through the doorways, cut right underneath everything between This little girl, Leah, oh, I remember Leah, she was a doll. She said, I wish I was a fairy so I could fly around everywhere and wear dresses and makeup. That's cute. And this little girl, Brindley, said, I wish I was a hummingbird so I can fly by my grandma's house. That cute. Her grandma. I love that. And this little boy said, I wish I was a ladybug too because ladybugs are cute. Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good reason, huh? I like that. These are some really cute things. See what you could think of at home. Let's see if you, Cameron, Kinsley, Decker, Levi, Bella, Rain, all of you can think of something and you can tell Mommy something that you would like to be if you were itty bitty. Something you could do that would be fun if you were a little bitty, a teeny tiny. And then I'd like to see that. Maybe I'll call you up and see what you said. Oh, I was going to show you this picture. This is from a little boy I had in my class last year, and I thought it was so cute. He's very artistic, and he has a great imagination, this little boy. And look what he drew. He drew a picture of the teeny tiny house. It looks like that a lot, huh? He drew a picture of the teeny tiny house. And he drew the school, and look at the big flower behind the school. He drew a little dice right there, and a teeny tiny child over the dice, because that's what they sat on. And I like to keep I love this picture because it's a little boy named Cooper Ryan, and he did a really good job. I really love this. So anyways, this is Miss Debbie's Teeny Tiny House, and I will read to you in a couple of days. Miss Debbie will read you another story. You guys stay well, stay safe, and remember, Miss Debbie loves you all. Bye.